Look at this photograph. In 1899, a steamship like the Kerberos is divided into two entirely different worlds. Up top, wealthy elites dine in luxury. Down below, thousands of impoverished migrants are packed shoulder to shoulder in the boiler rooms, shoveling coal just to pay for their passage. But regardless of their class, everyone on board shares a single goal. They are desperate to reach New York City, leave their old identities behind, and escape the specific traumas that followed them from Europe. This radio equipment represents the absolute peak of 19th century technology, yet it has severe limitations for deep-sea communication. Despite that, the captain receives a clear distress signal from the Prometheus, a sister ship that vanished 4 months ago. The captain orders an immediate change in course toward the signal. This decision triggers a wave of anxiety among the passengers, who fear turning back toward Europe will cost them their chance at a fresh start. The hopeful voyage to America has diverted into a rescue mission, pulling the Kerberos toward a ship that shouldn't exist anymore. Boarding the Prometheus reveals a hollow shell. The ship is empty, but the crew discovers a mute boy hiding in a cabinet, clutching a heavy black pyramid as if his life depends on it. Then the physical environment begins to ignore its own rules. Every compass aboard this 45,000-ton vessel fails at once, their needles spinning without any relation to the Earth's magnetic poles. This beetle doesn't just crawl, its presence causes the ship's structure to yield. It opens passages through solid iron walls, revealing dark, impossible tunnels hidden beneath the floorboards. The captain begins wandering through his own history. He experiences hyper-realistic visions of his dead family and his home in flames, unable to distinguish these memories from the ship's corridors. As the unexplained deaths mount and the captain's behavior becomes erratic, the lower-class passengers launch a violent mutiny to take control of the helm. From the failing compasses to these localized lapses in physics, the evidence suggests that the ship is no longer operating according to standard material laws. The Kerberos suddenly teleports. Despite steaming toward New York, the coordinates reset to the exact point where they began. This isn't a navigational error. They are trapped in a loop where space and time reset to a fixed origin point, erasing all progress. A passenger named Daniel uses a handheld device that looks like a futuristic calculator to interface with the ship's steam engines, manipulating the heavy iron machinery with a few keystrokes. When an anachronistic device can control 19th century steam power, the nature of the environment becomes clear. The Kerberos, the ocean, and the year 1899 are parts of a virtual reality simulation, and the passengers are minds plugged into a program. These black crystals represent code designed to delete the environment. As they grow across the dining room, they actively overwrite and erase the ship's data. The passengers are struggling against a failing architecture where every digital glitch translates into a physical threat to their survival. A passenger named Maura is the architect behind the curtain. She and Daniel built this world as a digital sanctuary to keep the consciousness of their dying son alive. However, Maura's own family hijacked the code. They took control of the simulation's parameters and locked the creators inside their own invention. The hijacker uses trauma as a tether. By forcing passengers to dwell on their unresolved grief, the simulation turns their own minds into the bars of their cell. To prevent escape, the system uses memory wipes. These resets ensure that every time a loop begins, the passengers truly believe the 1899 setting is their only reality. Breaking the loop requires the combination of two specific digital keys, Mara's wedding ring and her son's black pyramid. The true villain is the manipulation of the human psyche, using deep-seated pain to keep the captives focused on a fake world. As the deletion code takes over, the simulation's inhabitants lose their agency. They become mindless drones, walking off the ship's railing into the dark water as the system begins a total purge. Daniel successfully breaks into the core source code. He overrides the creator's security protocols and manually changes the parameters required to trigger an exit. Mara inserts her wedding ring into the pyramid, executing the final command to terminate the 1899 subroutine. Ending the loop required Mara to willingly discard the digital world she built for her son. Mara wakes up. She is no longer on a ship in the Atlantic, but inside a sleek hibernation pod in a weightless environment. The year is 2099. The Prometheus is a deep space colonization vessel, and the Victorian voyage was merely a subroutine for passengers in hibernation. Floating to a computer terminal, Maura receives a digital message from her brother, welcoming her back to the reality of the mission. The simulation was an escape from the pain of reality that became a prison. But as Maura looks out at the stars, the question remains, is she truly awake, or has she simply entered another layer of the illusion?